And here we are. What's going on the Metal Voice, live with Chris Holmes once again. Alan Dixon. What are you doing, Alan? What's going on?
Man, I don't know, but ever since we have Chris on, everything just exploded. We've got views and views, and people can't get enough of you, Chris. They want to know more and more and more.
Yeah, I've been hiding out
in France.
So we said, we'll take the time to talk to Chris properly, and I guess all subjects are good here.
I guess you know what it was, Alan? Mm-hmm. Last time we were talking about Eddie Van Halen, so we couldn't really get into Chris's life and what he's doing. Right, Chris?
Right.
We had to respect Eddie Van Halen. So today we're going to devote ourselves to Chris Holmes.
There you go.
Chris, how you doing? Start off with how you doing.
I'm still here, you know. I don't know how. After all the crap I've done in my life, I shouldn't have made it past 40.
Okay.
You know, but I'm still going.
Good for you. Good.
Yeah, strong.
For you. First things first, Chris, and you probably know about this as well, of course. The Canadian tour dates for 2021. You were supposed to come to Canada in 2020, and now we've had to postpone everything due to COVID-19. And I'm just going to read them off, and then big thumbs up afterwards. So, in April 22 and 2021, Quebec City. Then Montreal on the 23rd of April. Then Ottawa on the 24th. Then London on the 29th. Toronto on the 30th. Calgary May 8th. Vancouver May 14th. And Victoria May 15th. Chris, these are the 2021. I just want to tell everybody this is 2021. Which is not too far away. They are tentative. We don't know 100% if this is going to happen. Chris, do you care to comment on this?
It depends on how the COVID's doing and how, if the virus is down or up or whatever. And, if people get inoculated, for the virus. I mean, I planned on coming over even if I wasn't, with the virus, inoculated, I guess. That's
vaccinated,
what you call it.
Yeah.
Vaccinated, that's it. Vaccinated. I'd still come over and tour. If I'm not vaccinated, then that means I can't meet people backstage or talk to them. But if hopefully I get vaccinated by then, if they have the vaccine come out, in a few months or who knows, that's what I've heard. But, trusting all the media stuff, God knows what, if there's even a vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Time will tell. I don't know anybody's been vaccinated.
Well, the vaccine can take some time.
Hopefully, Canada is the virus still going there?
Oh yeah.
Alan, how's the virus coming along in Canada? What's the virus update?
They said here in Quebec, per capita, we're worse off than the United States because
that's not
for
good.
Deaths and cases. So per capita, it's not a good sign. And you got two tour dates here, so.
Well, if not, then they'll just have to postpone it till the year after,
Yeah, like a lot of bands, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think any band's going to tour until they get the vaccine. It'd be stupid. People aren't going to go to shows, Hopefully they might start vaccinating people if they, December. Maybe. Depends on how fast they can get it out to who they give it to, too, Well, I'm in France. I don't know where I'd get vaccinated here.
The hospital, the local hospital, I'm sure. Chris, a lot of people are commenting right now and saying, you look great. You look good, man. You look healthy. You look good. You look like you're in good shape. A lot of good comments. A lot of positivity there.
Yeah. I've been on a special diet.
All right, cool.
Vegan
or just what kind of diet?
No, it's a special Chris Holmes diet.
Oh, okay. It's not like chicken wings and I don't know.
No. I saw myself in a live video of about 2 years ago, and I go, man, I'm getting a little bit big, a stomach. So I just made myself a pack that I only eat breakfast, which is for me. That's so I don't have to wake my wife up. I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? And I eat lunch and dinner. That's it. I have nothing in between. No ice cream, no nothing at night. No, nothing in between. No, I used to eat potato chips, ice cream bars, Ben and Jerry's, Hershey bars and crap. I cut out everything.
That's good.
And have I been feeling better? Yeah, I probably dropped. I don't have a scale here. Probably 20 pounds.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I feel a lot. It's I just can't be a pig like I used to be all the time.
Hey, Chris, I was rereading Lita Ford's book yesterday. She said you're quite the cook. Nobody makes a chicken chili like you do.
Yeah. I used to love the barbecue, and then I used to like a pressure cooker. You can throw a whole chicken in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And the meat comes off the bones, and yeah, I used to like to make the chili so hot nobody'd eat it. That way it'd stay in the fridge for about a week. I mean, I'd put in nothing but peppers, chili peppers, and the yellow ones, the jalapenos. Oh yeah, tons of those.
Can't do that anymore. I can't do that.
Did you say any bad shit about me?
No. It's all good. So far, we're on a good. Things are looking good. Things are looking good so far. Everything's great. Chris, okay.
That's rare. No. Did my ex say anything bad?
In the book, no. He said you were a gentleman, and no, just that things didn't work out there. She had some, some deaths in the family that didn't help, and she called you a Viking the first time she saw you on stage. In the book, she says, like watching a Viking.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But how would you rate Lita as a guitar player, Chris? On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say.
As a female,
just as a guitar player.
I don't want to rate anybody. Say who's better than who. She's good.
Yeah,
she's good. She's a good songwriter. She's not too many females sing and play lead guitar and everything at once. I mean, there's some girls that play lead guitar but they don't sing. But she does the whole thing together. She's probably one of the best there is.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a while.
Good.
She's still doing it. Still doing a good job. All right.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about Playing with Fire. We got a couple of stuff to talk about. Playing with Fire, this new single you released. You have Steve Grimmett who's singing on it. Tell us about the guests on this song and what it's about. Why did you record it?
It's if you listen to the lyrics, it's about COVID.
Okay.
And it's about the government lying to you about the virus. They're saying that it's not. It's doing what they're saying. It's not very contagious and all that crap. They're playing with fire. That's what it's about. Who do you trust? Who do you blame? Who's going to die? And the singer and Mean Man sang the first verse and the part of the first chorus. The second one was Steve from Grim Reaper.
Yeah, Steve Grimmett.
The third one is Tommy Bolin, guitar player from Doro. Warlock.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine in LA. He sang on it. He screams on it. And he asked me, Chris, you mind that? I go, hey, I'd rather have you do what you want to do. And then the fourth one is the guy that's going to play with me in Canada, from Phoenix is Burning.
Oh, okay. So the band that you had, like you had a backing band in Canada, right? And the singer is the guy who actually singing on it as well. I can look at him up.
Yeah.
I'll put his name. I don't know his name offhand. I got you.
I forgot his name. I don't want to say a name.
No, I'll find it. That's what me and Alan are here for.
With the research.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
His voice is killer on that. It's the fourth one.
Okay. And so is this, so you have a new album coming out. Is this song going to be part of that album or not? Or is it just a single?
I didn't plan on it. No, I don't really, no. No, it's coming. I got to finish the record first.
Okay. All right.
I've gotten all the songs written and the ideas. I just need to record them. That's why I got an Indiegogo thing coming out.
Yeah. So we got the Indiegogo.
Yeah.
This is, okay, Alan, we're going to back up here a little bit. Now, the whole world is turned upside down. Artists can't tour. They can't make money. Album sales just don't do it, right? So
No.
you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Artists are frustrated. So you've done this Indiegogo to raise funds, and you could tell us the rest.
Well, the way how I was doing the record before is I'd play live and I'd take all the money that I make, which is whatever, and put it into the recording. That's how I got the EP done. You know, because it's cost money to record. You know, whatever, the studio and the people and the mixing it and stuff. And from the tour that I missed out this year, I was going to take that money and finish the record. No. But since I didn't get the tour, I haven't made any money. You know, a lot of people think I made money from W.A.S.P. I've never gotten my royalties or you know, or even my songwriting. Go look at the stuff that I wrote. I've never gotten paid 1 penny.
Oh my gosh.
1 penny. And it's you know whose fault it is? It's my fault for not knowing the business, how it is. I trusted somebody, and after every album, behind my back, not with the record company, because your name goes on the label at the record company. I'm talking about when album's done, how they split up the publishing with the publishing contracts, the publishing companies. That's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
I was never told about when that meeting was because the other guys in the band never wrote. Randy never did. Riley didn't. Rod, nobody. I was the only one. So I'm the only one that they have to screw over to get all the publishing. So I was never told. Then when I dug into it in about 2006 or 7, I went into the Sanctuary Music, had a lawyer go in to find out where my publishing is, and I was written in as a session player in through all the records.
Oh boy!
And if you don't know about it and not told and don't see, you don't know. So I trusted Blackie Lawless about that, and when I found out, it really kind of yanked me wrong. It yanks me wrong, makes me feel he was sticking a knife in my back from the first day, from the first album, and not telling me and being my best friend. And if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be where he's at. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you that, because
your sound is a signature. Your guitar sound is signature to the W.A.S.P. sound that everybody knows.
Well, go look up Circus Circus. That was W.A.S.P. before I got in the band. And I got in the band. You know, he wouldn't be where he's at, and then he screws me like that on the publishing. It's all right. It's been a long time. It's something that I will never get over. I'll take that to the grave with me. Okay. You can see how pissed I'm pissed thinking about it. But anyway, that's the kind of person he is. And everybody thinks, wow, he's got the greatest. Yeah, he's got an outrageous voice, Blackie. Yeah. But he turns his back on his band members real bad and screws them. I'm the only guy in the band that ever came back to get screwed twice, which I did. You know, I came back for Kill Fuck Die, and I was promised half publishing on that album. Didn't get crap, knowing that I couldn't get in to see what was written in the contracts. Of course, and just that's why I wrote the song "Two-Faced Motherfucker." It's about him.
Is that on the new album or?
It's on Shitting Bricks.
Oh yes, okay, the last one. Yes.
And I got one on the new album. It's called "You Can't Handle It." It's called "The Truth." It's says "You Can't Handle the Truth." That's on my new one. I'm gonna write a song about him on every album. You know.
Is there any sort of, if you got a lawyer, and I know lawyers are expensive, and sometimes you just want to leave the past as the past, but did you ever say, you know what, I'm just gonna go after what is mine, or is it just a done deal? The contract is the contract, and that's that.
Well, you'd have to go into court. If it wasn't when it was settled, when the albums were done, it's done. You know, so I'll never get any publishing ever off W.A.S.P. That, you know, you think everybody asked me about a W.A.S.P. reunion? Sure, I'd love to play a W.A.S.P. reunion if he pays me my publishing. If he doesn't, then he can have a reunion with Randy Piper and Johnny Rod and Riley, you know, everybody else. I'm not going to play. It's not worth it. It's not, you know, I came back to W.A.S.P. in 95, got screwed again. Screw me once, screw me twice. You're not going to screw me the third time.
Okay.
You know, so that's just the way, you know, it's been 6 years. I got my thing going, and I love doing it. I love being around the people I'm around. You know, I love traveling with them. I don't have to put up with a. Have you ever put up with a narcissist?
My wife calls
try
me a
not to.
narcissist. You have to ask my wife.
Have to ask my
No. Blackie Lawless is a really extremely. He's a narcissist, real bad. If you don't believe me, look at the second and third album, and then look at this. Look at the inside. What's that other one he did? Where he's on the cover on the cross.
This one here? You're talking about
Crimson
Last
Idol.
Command? No.
Okay.
Golgotha. Golgotha, yeah.
Crimson Idol.
Your second album.
Crimson Idol. Crimson Idol.
That one. That's him on the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Blackie.
That's him.
If that isn't a narcissist, I don't know what is. A malignant narcissist. That was the whole band.
That was the band.
Look at second album.
You know?
And
Second
the next
album.
one.
Then the narcissist comes out. Just
And
me
then the
on
third
cover.
one.
Then the narcissist comes out.
But you know,
and you can't. It's really, really hard to work with somebody like that because they keep you down so they can be up. It's exactly what Donald Trump does.
Okay.
Malignant narcissist.
But
I didn't want to I can't put up with the guy's crap anymore. It's not
all
worth
right.
it.
So let's look at the positive. I know we could.
That is positive.
Okay.
that's a positive. He's restraining himself.
But because you've been screwed over so many years in W.A.S.P, you can't tour. You need people to help out, or the fans to help out with this album, right? The what's it called? Not the
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo campaign.
Indiegogo. So tell us about that and how you need the funds because it's the only way to survive.
Well, it's the only way I can finish this record coming up. If not, then it probably won't be able to record it until after I go out and tour, and I'll be able to come back and pay for the recording and all that stuff. You know, that's just a reality of the thing. I could try to get a record label, but there's no more labels anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't, and they don't sign. Nobody's going to sign and give you money to record with anymore. You know, I do. I do have a documentary coming out called Mean Man.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah.
It's the story of the last 10 years of my life. It's called Mean Man, the story of Chris Holmes. That comes out January 19th of 2021, which is pretty soon.
How's that going to be released, Chris?
Like on DVD or Blu-ray? You're asking
from what I heard, that's kind of like they're not there yet, right? It's sort of like it's done, right? It's in the whole documentary's done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. It's pretty cool. I saw it. I kind of liked it. It shows what I've been doing, touring and stuff. A lot of interviews from people in the past. You know,
it looks very like I saw the commercial and it looks like very good quality. It doesn't look like some sort of cheap made documentary. It looks like a really good quality documentary.
No, the guy followed me around with the camera and stuff for a long time, and shot it. A French guy, and then it's going to be out on Cleopatra. You know, they're the ones that are putting it out. If it's as a Blu-ray, I don't know. Somebody will buy it and it'll go right on YouTube. So. Normal.
That's it.
All right, so so new album. All right, so tell us about the musical direction on the new album. How's that?
Musical direction.
Like what is it going to sound like? Is it going to sound like a little bit of this? Is it going to sound a little bit like this? Where are you going with this? Are you going to do the vocals? Are you going to get?
Well, I got the EP of the album already out. It's called Under the Influence.
Yes.
And it's got Devil Made Me Do It. I Am What I Am. I'm trying to think of the other song.
Okay, don't worry, no big deal.
But it's gonna sound like that. It's gonna be just straightforward rock and roll, straightforward rock music. I'm gonna sing on all of it. You know.
Okay, good. Okay.
And if some people don't like my voice, hey, don't buy it. It's that simple. You know, some people like it, some people don't. This is just the way it is.
Yeah.
But how did you get Steve Grimmett involved in the what you just released, the single?
I played a festival about a year and a half ago in Portugal.
Oh, okay.
And they Grim Reaper played, and I just met him there. And I met him years ago at concerts here and there, but met him there and talked to him, and it's really, really cool person, man. It's a really cool person. I like him. We just called him up and see if he'd sing on. He said, yeah, I'd love to.
And he still has the voice. I mean, we were lucky. Yeah, we were lucky enough to see him in concert, interview him a few times, and just a real gentleman.
Oh yeah, it's cool. He just he had some problems with his leg and had they cut it off above the knee, but he's got the titanium thing. He gets up on stage and wails with that, you know.
Yeah, it's quite you know, he's just quite the guy. I mean, you know, to suffer through all that and get on stage and you know, to still keep going, Steve's a great guy. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't cut his middle leg off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he might sing higher.
No, but he's got a heart of gold, man. The guy, Steve.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Solid. You want to?
Oh, just getting back to the DVD, you said the last 10 years of your life. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people, and I've been reading up, I saw interviews with Blackie, and I read Lita's book. If we go back to the decline of decline of Western civilization, the metal years, and that famous pool scene, was that really a joke? Like, you knew Penelope Spheris before the film? You knew her? So you were...
I went to high school with a guy named John Neff, who was her boyfriend years before, you know, and I've met her a bunch of times here and there in Hollywood, and he's her boyfriend, and I just known her from there. And then she had done the first one, which is all punk rock. It wasn't filmed as good, you know, and then she called me up and asked me to do that. And was it real alcohol? Yeah, it was real alcohol in there. People tell me it wasn't, but why would I fake something?
Yeah.
You know?
Chris,
you were putting on a show, Chris, and giving her what you thought she wanted, or you were really acting like that because you were under the influence, as we say.
That's called fucked up.
Okay.
Chris, I don't want to cut this off. I want to cut this off, but I want to get to, like, people are writing messages, and I'm sort of like ignoring it, and I think a lot of people want to say something to you. Well, first of all, a lot of people are saying, I want to be the first in line to see this documentary. Long live Chris Holmes, awaiting the third album. January 19th is my birthday. That'd be a great birthday present. Chris is the last of the dying breed, a free spirit in a truest sense. Headless Children rules. Ask Chris about the white Explorer Eddie played. That is his. Did we talk about that last time?
Yeah, we spoke about that in the last interview. Yeah,
it's all in the doc. There's a doc. If you look up my name, you'll see a story about the guitar thing with Eddie and stuff. There's some guy, the guy that did the documentary, did a little 3-4 minute clip of all the people in the movie that were from Pasadena. He has this guy Doug, that has my guitar that has a Van Halen museum. He holds it. He just explains the guitar in there.
Yeah, I actually came across that video the other night. Yeah. And he explains it very
clips.
well.
It's actually clips out of the documentary. You know.
Yeah. And here's some more. Does Chris know the guys from Sword? The band Sword from Montreal.
No.
Actually.
No, I haven't been to Montreal in a long time.
When's the last time you've been here? Do you remember?
I think it was 96 or 97, right before Kill Fuck Die.
Okay.
I was there for an interview. I don't think we toured there.
All right. Tell me about.
I remember when I flew there. I flew from Japan to Toronto, and remember the comet called Hail Bop?
Okay.
Do you remember that?
No, don't remember that.
There was a comet called Hail Bop. It was in the air. I remember looking out the plane at it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just remember that. Hail Bop comet. It was remember Heaven's Gate? Those guys killed themselves when the comet came by?
Yes. And all those left as Reebok sneakers or something.
And you actually
That was the last time I was in Canada, because I can remember flying from Japan. I was looking out the window at it for a few hours.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Here's a question, and it's coming to this album here. Spencer Proffer, what was it like working with him as a producer? Was it tough? A lot of stories.
Tough. No, he was great.
Okay.
He was great. He was great. Want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
So like, I always record. I never record too much where the cabinet is in the isolation booths when you look through the windows. I always sit in the studio where the mixing board is and run a guitar cord out to the amps. It's easier that way. You can hear things better instead of using the headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting on the side, and Spencer, he's in this big, huge lounge, not a lounge chair, but a captain's chair, and he's leaning back. And I'm waiting to record, and he's talking on the phone. And I'm sitting there waiting, and then another phone call, and I get mad. And I had eaten at this place called Astro Burger next door, and it gave me gas. And he was leaning back talking to somebody on it, and Dwayne Barron was in the studio. He's leaning back talking to somebody. I'm mad now. I've been waiting for 20 minutes. He's still on the phone. He's leaning back. And I turn around and act like I'm picking a pickup. And my ass was about a foot from his face and let the rudest fart in his face. And then he got pissed and got up and split for about 2 hours. Spencer was a nice guy to me. You know, he always treated me great recording, and he was fun to be with. He was fun to record with. I liked him.
Okay, good.
I don't know if it's still alive.
I mean, you had that Quiet Riot. You know, they're sort of like didn't have a good time recording with him. Was it Kickaxe too, Alan? That Vices was Spencer?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's that sound, that wall of sound that he had.
They were on
right?
Pasha, so.
Yeah.
What out of Pasha?
Yeah.
Pasha Recording Studios. That's a Quiet Riot came in and sang on us on one of the songs on our album. You can tell they're singing on it. Oh God. I think it's the title track to The Last Command, the song The Last Command.
You have Sex Drive and Running Wild in the Streets.
That song, Running Wild in the Streets.
Was it Kevin Dubrow?
Oh, they sang where it sings all the way. You can hear Quiet Riot in there, Carlos and Kevin singing.
Okay, cool. Chris, do you have someone's Oscar saying, how much musical theory do you know, Chris? I mean, have you I know you had a guitar teacher back when, right? But
yeah, but they teach you with tabs. They teach you blues box scales. I don't have any musical theory at all. I know what an A chord and an E chord is, but since I tune my guitar down a half step, it's really an A flat, but you're still playing an A on the guitar. It's weird. I know what a major scale is, and I know what a minor scale is, and that's about it. Other than that, most of the stuff I play by ear, by what I feel. I play most everything by what I feel.
Okay. Alan?
No, I mean, I just finished listening to Inside the Electric Circus, and I mean, you're ripping on there, the guitar solo, your sound, and I'm like, how was it, Chris? Why nobody ever promoted Chris? Why wasn't he bigger when, Guitar Mags came out, top guitars, everybody's talking about, Van Halen and other guys that were hot at the time, but man, you can compete with anybody out there, you know what I mean?
It goes back to working with somebody that's a narcissist.
Okay. That's what my suspicion, yeah.
I'll explain it this way. Well, if that's all hell broke loose when I did that thing with Penelope, because I did it. I didn't even tell anybody in W.A.S.P I was doing it. Dio, We're Stars?
Yeah. Oh, yes, you were in that, yeah.
You were in
Jimmy Bain, I know Jimmy very well before he died.
Mm-hmm.
I see him in North Hollywood all the time. I used to go to his house. Know him very well. He said personally, he called up and asked if Chris could do a guitar solo on there, and they said that I couldn't, that I didn't have enough time, which I did have enough time. The guys in Iron Maiden did. They were on the same management.
They were on the same label, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but so somebody in the W.A.S.P camp said I couldn't. I wonder who in the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Do you think
it's not fair?
Do you think he?
But I don't know if I don't hear I'm not on the phone. They didn't call me and ask me. If they had asked me personally, I'd have went down and played. But the reason why I got to do the decline is because Penelope Spears, she called me personally. She didn't go through the management.
That's why you did it. Okay.
Yeah, and she still owes me $300 for that movie.
You think? You
She
think
never paid
after
you.
wait?
She never paid
You
She
you.
think
owes me
after?
$300.
Really? Nothing. Did you get
You know,
anything for that? Nothing. Not even nothing. Zero.
No. Well, she paid $300, but it went to the management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the deal is, she called me personally. She can pay me personally. That's the fucking way it is. She can pay me personally, not the management. You know, so she owes me $300. She called me up and wanted me to do an interview for the box set that's coming out. I told her, if you want, pay me my $300 and I'll think about it. And she didn't pay me my $300, so I didn't think about it. But if she would have, I'd have said, hey, I thought about it. No, I don't want to do it.
I just want to tell everybody in the chat of YouTube, I'm putting in the link to the pledge, and I'm also putting the link to the song "Playing with Fire." So I've been putting it, and that's why my head's been kind of going down because I'm doing this. So right now, I'm gonna put in the link, the Indiegogo for the album. If you guys want to take a look at that. Oops, maybe that's the wrong one. And let me just put it here. Oh, maybe I put the wrong one. There we go. Playing
Geez,
with Fire. Go
after
ahead,
she
Alan.
directed Wayne's World, do you think she'd have $300 to give you? You know, that was a huge hit.
Well, Randy O from Odin used to live with me, and I know him real well. And she paid him $2,500. You know, paid him personally.
Wow.
She never paid me. She never paid me. Probably went into Blackie's pocket anyway. You know, who knows?
And Lita, in her book, she was there while you were filming. She says, you know, watching you and that at that time and saying in the movie, and Penelope, she thought you were putting on an act for Penelope. She's like, this could be career suicide, you know. But I mean, obviously, you had many years afterwards playing with W.A.S.P. So,
Well, I think she's got it wrong. As if she was there when I was filming it, wouldn't she be in the video instead of my mom? Think about it.
yeah, okay.
Think about that. Wouldn't she be in it?
Yeah, you'd want her in it for sure, right?
She would have been in it. So apparently she wasn't there when I was filming it. She was at when Penelope came up and showed me the script, the part of what they were going to put in the movie before they did, to give me an okay. And I said, I don't really care what you put it in. You know, nothing's going to bother me. You know, I'll run around naked. I don't give a shit.
All right, so I found the link for the Indigo. Here we go.
Have you seen the new pool scene I did in 2017?
Yes.
I redid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better one. It goes, hey, I'm still here.
yeah. That's a great start. Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Still going.
Chris, let me ask you this.
Worried.
Here's an offbeat question that I kept hearing a lot of over the years, and you probably weren't even in the band in W.A.S.P. Blackie kept canceling shows a lot of the times.
Was in the band?
When you were in the band, did that happen too? Did he cancel
No.
shows?
No.
Okay.
There was only one that I know of, two shows in the whole time that I played in W.A.S.P. that were canceled. Once was we got a BLT that had bad mayonnaise, and Blackie ate half and I ate the other half, and we got what do you call that when you get dysentery? Yeah, I remember sitting on the bus. It was coming out of my ass and my mouth at the same time.
Yeah. Jeez.
And so we canceled one show then. That was on the Metallica tour. And then there was one show we had played in the Czech Republic, a festival on Kill Fuck Die, where Blackie he lost his voice. He got a cold and he couldn't sing. He almost lost his voice. So that was canceled. Other than that, there was never other one canceled. The only other cancellations, Motorhead got up and split off tour.
Okay, I found the Indigo, and again, I'm just telling everybody that I'm putting the link. I was putting the wrong link at the beginning, but now I'm putting the right link. So just take a look at that link, and for the funding of the album.
You know, the past couple of weeks, I've been looking on YouTube, some old interviews with you and Blackie, you know, and you were always there beside him. And, you know, I say, hey, these are the dynamic duos. These guys are a team. But very rarely.
You wouldn't let me talk.
No, you wouldn't. Anybody who watches says Chris is not allowed to talk, you know?
He wouldn't let me talk.
It seems that way.
They asked me a question. He'd always butt in and give the answer that people didn't want to hear, you know?
And again, we got nothing against Blackie. We would love to interview him. We've never had the chance, but just look at this coldly. You say, hey, looks like Chris is not allowed to talk. Almost watching some of these old videos, and it's not just one. There's 3 or 4 of them over the years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about here? Here's from Careless Whisper says, please ask him his thoughts on Inside the Electric Circus, especially the deeper cuts. And you did participate a lot on this album, right? What do you think about it?
I haven't heard it since I didn't even hear the mix of it. I remember recording it, and that was it. I played the songs live. Other than that, I don't listen to the W.A.S.P music. It's because of what's happened with my publishing. I don't want to hear the guy's voice. It just yanks me wrong. It's a cool album, though. I think it's got a little too much reverb on it.
Okay.
On Inside the Electric Circus. And then, when somebody makes a decision, it's going to be me on the cover. It's not a band at that point. So I didn't like it.
Okay.
I like the Headless Children. I got to play all the guitars on it, except a few little riffs here and there that I didn't. I was supposed to come back and play, and I wouldn't. That's the album that I'm proud of.
Okay, here's one. Here's one for you, Chris. Here's another one. I like this one here. Thomas asked, what does W.A.S.P stand for? Was it White Anglo-Saxon Protestant? Which I know it wasn't. But, W.A.S.P. What does it stand for? What was the meaning behind all this? I know that Rick Fox, back in the day when the band first was, before it was W.A.S.P, he claims to say that he named the band W.A.S.P, or that was the idea where it came from.
Well, he was with Blackie somewhere, and a bee landed on him, and he goes, fuck, I almost got stung by a wasp. And then that's the idea of where the band comes from. Rick was in the band in the beginning, but where does a band start? Where do you consider where a band starts? Is it where they get together, or their first show?
Okay.
Or their first album?
Or their first album, yeah.
All right, so you're saying, so what did the name become? Like, I mean, was it just, okay, this cool name and that's all it really is? It wasn't nothing more than that?
It was White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Was that
It says that on the song Show No Mercy. It goes, White Anglo-Saxon, a violent reaction. On Show No Mercy. Blackie sings, White Anglo-Saxon, a violent reaction. Something, right on Wasteland, right onto the Badlands. But I don't know if Show No Mercy ever made it on an album. It's probably on a B-side somewhere.
Okay. Tommy says, please thank Chris and his wife Sarah for mailing me an autographed copy of Shitting Bricks and a personalized guitar pick of his. I am forever grateful. Tommy D. So some love from the fans. A lot of fans. You got a lot of fans, my friend.
A lot of fans.
You got a lace. I could keep going on questions, Alan, unless you have a question as I look for more questions.
No.
Well,
Go ahead.
Why I am with the fans is because I'm still a fan, from day one. I never forget the times when I met people, went to concerts, was in the front row, Deep Purple back in 72, 74, whatever, when Maiden Japan came out, concerts like that, who always was an influence on me and the fans was I hate to go back to it, was Van Halen. Ed, I saw the way he'd treat people, and it was back when before I ever made it, when he did, I was like, wow, that's cool, man, to be that way. He took the time for everybody, and I like meeting the fans because it makes them happy. See a smile on their face, and I'll talk to most anybody.
Is there any new bands you're listening to? Do you listen to current music? Is anything stand out to you? Any new bands or?
No, I did figure a way to tape all the songs off YouTube that I wanted to hear. I did my record collection on every band I ever wanted. I spent probably 2 months doing it off YouTube. I recorded off the headphone jack, on a recorder.
Yes.
Chris? Yeah. So I spent hours doing. On one 32 gig little dinky card, little dinky thing. I got 980 songs, all Zeppelin, Beatles,
The Who,
I recorded every Black Sabbath song there was. Every one. I spent, and you have to do it in real time, you know?
Yes, you have to run it.
yeah.
You have to run it.
Jeez.
I spent hours, man.
It's like a turntable.
And
Wow.
sometimes YouTube shuts off your computer. They know you're doing it. They can come to the line somehow and shut off my computer, so I'd have to go, damn, man, and I'd have to go back and erase it, because I got it on I got a little Tascam recorder that records on the disc. I record them all WAV files. So on one of them I got 900 something songs. The other one I got 500. I got everything I ever wanted. I even did Motown.
Nice.
Motown, all the Motown songs. Smokey Robinson.
Mr. Brewer asks, did Chris meet Randy Rhoads? And then I know somebody else asks, you've auditioned for Ozzy when you auditioned for Ozzy, right? This is before Randy Rhoads was selected as a guitarist, correct?
Yeah. Did I meet Randy Rhoads? What do you mean meet him? I lived in the same town.
You lived in Burbank? I thought you lived in Pasadena.
Listen, there's a place called La Cañada. It's in between Burbank and Pasadena. It's in the mountains. Okay.
Yes.
Pasadena and Burbank there's Glendale in between, but there's a place called La Cañada. It's where NASA, Jet Propulsion Laboratory is.
Mm-hmm.
And the town's built for all the scientists there. I lived in that town. So meet him. Yeah, sure, man. I hung with the Van Halen crowd, but I knew Randy, here and there. How I auditioned, Dana Strum called me to do an audition for Ozzy. It said I couldn't play any Black Sabbath songs. I was like, that's odd. I went up to a studio in Laurel Canyon with my amp and guitar, and I just played with no band, played for about an hour. Not an hour, about 20 minutes. And he was smoked some hash with one of my friends. And then that night, that was a Friday night, Quiet Riot was playing the Whiskey A Go-Go. Oh, and after the auditioned, it was Dana Strum from Bad Axe, the bass player.
Okay,
he plays with Vince Neil.
Yeah.
He was driving Ozzy around looking for guitar players. And probably my height could have scared him.
Chris, how tall are you? Like 6'3", 6'4"?
No, I'm 6'6".
Oh,
6'6", that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're way past Ozzy,
Being that tall is okay for certain things, but it's bad for a lot of things, because a lot of musicians don't want to stand next to you on stage.
Yeah.
Blackie's 6'5", so it
kind of worked that.
Yeah. The last guitar player I had in France, he was 6'6", tall guy.
Yeah. I'm only 5'8", so you're probably like the Jolly Green Giant to me. Alan's tall. Alan's a tall guy, so he's all good.
Not
you know what I'd say?
6'6" tall.
Yeah, you know what I'd say to somebody that's shorter? Don't blame you. Blame your parents.
I'm going to go blame my mom right after.
Genetics.
Yeah, call her up, cuss her out.
How about Molly Crew? How about Chris? How about Molly? Go ahead, sorry.
My mom was giving me shit about 12 years ago about something. I don't know what it was. She on the phone. She was nagging me about doing something. I go, Mom, this is a problem that happened. That happened 50 something years ago that you and Dad made, and I don't want to hear about it. It's a problem that you started. And she shut up. She didn't bother me anymore about it.
This is all your fault.
Yeah. This is a mistake you made 50 something years ago.
Don't blame me. All right, I'm gonna post the link to the Indiegogo, and again, I keep screwing it up, but I think I got it right here. Boom. If you want to support Chris Holmes, please. We want some new music, and we want some great music, and it's definitely. And again, I will say this again: the Canadian tour that was postponed is now 2021, starting in April in Quebec City, Montreal, Ottawa, London, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver,
keep our fingers
Victoria.
crossed.
So, what about Half Moon Bay?
You mean Thunder Bay?
Thunder Bay, that's what it is. Yeah.
Thunder Bay, yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's tentative. There's a lot of tentative stuff going on. They're not 100% sure yet. But I want to give a shout out to Kevin Michaud. And Kevin, he's done such a spectacular job at being the promoter, organizing this sort of tour for you that didn't happen but got postponed. So big shout out to Kevin. Kevin works so hard. I know he works with your wife and yourself. And, hats off to him, Kevin. Bringing artists like you to Canada from France, that's not easy to do, man. That's not easy to do.
No.
All right. Another question, Alan? We've got so many. Comps are flying.
If the virus is down and they let people come in and out of the country, I'll be definitely playing. But if it's not, then we'll have to postpone it back further.
So what's your touring band from Canada? You're going to be doing a lot of the singing, or you mentioned you had a singer already lined up?
I sing the songs that I wrote on my project, and then the bass player, you are to find his name. I think his name's Kevin.
Kevin.
He plays in a band called Phoenix Burning.
Okay.
Or In Flames.
Phoenix is Burning. Check it out, everybody.
Good.
Google that.
Phoenix in Flames.
Oh, Phoenix in Flames. Don't check out the first one. Check it. Phoenix. I'm going to look it up right now, Chris. Okay.
I should have it written down somewhere, but I have it downstairs in my basement.
It's all good.
Okay.
So
anyway,
go ahead.
The new album will sound like this EP, Under the Influence, and the new album is going to be called Unbearable Influence.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm an unbearable influence.
Is his name Cornelius Black? Is that his name? No, it can't be.
No. You want me to find his name out?
That's a stage name. Yeah,
I think you're looking at Harry Potter sites, Jimmy.
Where am I looking?
Phoenix, Rise of the Phoenix, Sirius Black. You got them all confused.
Jeez. I don't know. Anyway.
Hey, Sarah!
There we go. Sarah will know.
Yeah.
Sarah will know. She's probably watching.
Yeah.
There she is. Okay.
What's the name of the guy who plays in the Phoenix in Flames?
Oh, Charles-André Lambert.
What's his name?
Charles.
His name's Charles.
Chuck. Chuck to his friends.
Okay, wait. Kevin Michaud's telling me.
Lambert.
Charles-André Lambert. Charles.
Lambert.
Yes.
He is Cornelius
I can't
Black,
pronounce it. See, you know why I couldn't remember it? Because I can't pronounce that.
Lambert. Charles-André Lambert.
Yeah.
Charles. Anyways, by the way, his nickname is Cornelius Black.
There you go.
So
I stand corrected.
I stand
He's
corrected.
gonna be
Cornelius Black. That's what it is. All right,
He's
Motley
going to be
Crue
called
question.
Chuck. You know what I'm going to call him? Chuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good one. Chuck, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, here it goes. Motley Crue question. You ready for Motley Crue?
Oh.
Do you remember the back in the day, Motley Crue? Did you see the band? Did you see them rise?
Yeah. What do you mean? I saw
You
him.
were there. You were there, man. You were there. You
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah, but they were cool. You know, they were more of a glam thing. Some people used to call them chicks with dicks.
yeah.
You know, because they look like chicks. They were almost like Poison in the beginning, and then they changed their image a little. You know, through the times, got harder, heavier.
Yes.
You know, Mick's a cool guy. Nicky's always been nice to me.
Good.
I met him when I was 19 at Theodore's restaurant around from Starwood. I had quit Sister, and I was in there after I think a Van Halen show or whatever at the restaurant, and he introduced himself, blah blah, and he just came in from Idaho, and he said something about, you know, because Blackie was in the Doll, blah blah blah, and I just quit Sister, and he's asking me why I quit, and I know why now, but I didn't know then. I just said I wasn't happy in the situation. He couldn't believe that I'd quit, you know. And then him and Blackie hooked up and made London.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Could he play Nicky Sixx back in the day? Could he really like? I mean, a lot of talk of Nicky Sixx couldn't really play as a bassist or a guitarist. I mean, was he limited in his capabilities?
Well, in that kind of music, what do you call playing? One note, you know?
Yeah.
How much is it? Put it this way, as playing like John Entwistle, no.
Yeah.
You know, but as for what the song's called for and the songwriting and stuff, he's great.
An open E. That's what he's good for on
Hey,
bass.
if that's what the song calls for, that's good, you know?
Yeah,
So he writes some cool stuff. Cool image. Nicky, he's always been fucking treated me like a brother.
Good.
He's always been fucking great to me. Always had a heart of gold towards me every time I've been around him.
Yeah.
And
Him and Blackie had a falling out.
Oh, okay. That was at the time of London, or?
No, it was way after. It was after I can remember talking to Blackie about it. He says he didn't want to talk to Nicky because he was, doing drugs and this and that. And I was still like, I remember telling Blackie, just because he does drugs doesn't mean he's a bad person,
Yeah.
I mean, I've done them all my life, and I'm talking about narcotics, not smoking weed.
Yeah.
I've done them all my life since I was 13, really 12. LSD. So there's a time and place for everything. If you got to know where the fine line is on whatever. So, and then Blackie said he didn't want any of the drug addicts being around his life, so he blew off his friendship with Nicky. And I was like, that's kind of odd, But he's even though somebody has problems, who cares?
I'm really enjoying 6 a.m. his post Motley Crue band. I mean, some of those albums and the songs and the musicianship, I think it's better than even Motley Crue in their heyday. So it's something I really enjoy.
Well, the musicians in that band are a little bit different, than I'm not saying Mick Mars is bad. Mick's a good. He's got a great killer sound.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You know why he's got a killer sound?
Because he learned it from you.
No, because his roadie was Eddie Van Halen's roadie.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, Rudy Laren.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
It all goes back to Van Halen.
Here's a question from Brewer, Mr. Brewer. Did Chris get into a fight with Robin Crosby at the LA Forum?
It wasn't a fight. It was a scuffle.
Okay.
And something was said, and I told somebody to F off, and it wasn't a fight where we were full on slugging each other.
Okay.
It was a shoving match, and I could fuck you and throwing drinks in each other's faces, and then they threw me out.
Okay.
Out of the Forum Club, because I'm the one with the bad, the W.A.S.P, the bad guys or whatever. But Robin and I, we made up since then, Good.
He was fairly tall too, wasn't he, Chris?
Yeah.
He was about 6'6".
Oh wow, another big guy. Yeah.
I saw him about 3 weeks before he passed.
Was he was it was AIDS because of what, needles? Is that what it was? Like I don't remember.
Yeah, doing heroin, being around the wrong kind of people, picked it up, sharing needles with somebody.
Yeah.
And then he died of an infection a staph infection in his spine.
Ugh.
Actually,
Great songwriter.
Last time I saw him, I went by to say hi to. I was getting ready to go to Japan. I went by to say hi to my drummer, this guy Robert Claysmat, good friend of mine. He's a drummer where Robin was living, and went by to tell him I'd be back in 2 weeks. And Robin answered the door. And, hey, he goes, what? So what are you doing, Chris? And I go, I'm getting ready to go to Japan. And he was weird. He goes, can I ask you a personal question? I go, well, how personal? And he goes, can I ask you how much you get paid? I go, whoa. I go, yeah. I go, right now I make $1,000 a week. And he goes, wow, $1,000 a week. And I go, Robin, before that, I only made $500 up to the headless children. That's it. Because I'd rather have all the money come after, to enjoy things. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, what are, he kind of got a smile on his face and laughed. He goes, what am I complaining about? He goes, man, I had $2, $3, $4 million and a Playboy wife and everything. He goes, man, I blew it all on drugs. What an idiot. And he started laughing about it. He was totally cool about it,
Chris, whose idea was for the raw meat in W.A.S.P? Whose idea was this? Like, today, I think in today's day and age, you could not throw raw meat in the crowd, right?
Why not?
I would think bacteria and, the virus, there's just so many sort of do's and don'ts. And I don't know, it's more politically correct.
The girl
today.
on the rack might create more
Today
of a
might be like a
controversy.
plastic, piece of meat. But what was it, like a roast? Whose idea was this? I mean, back then it was pretty edgy.
We had a box made and it was painted red on the inside, black on the outside, said raw meat on it. we'd get just a raw steak, and then we'd get the stage blood and pour that, so it was real bloody and gross. And then the meat was like in chunks, chunks of steak, and when it's dipped in the blood, it gets really gory. When in the band Sister, Blackie used to eat worms, to flip people out. He wanted to outdo Alice Cooper or whatever. So
he used to light his pants on fire, and then he gave it to Nikki Sixx. He gave up and let, here, you can start burning yourself. I'm sick of this.
Well, that's because all of the acts that were in Sister, didn't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
Just in fact, Sister had the pentagram logo.
Yeah.
That Motley Crue took, from the old days.
Right.
All right, Iron Maiden stories. Michael wants to know, do you have any Iron Maiden stories?
Yeah, good or bad?
Well, good. Let's stick with good. Well, then we go bad after, but good for now. Good.
Well, I used to travel on Iron Maiden's bus. Steve and Bruce, they had a bus, and then with Nico, and then Dave and Adrian had their own bus, and I'd travel on Steve's bus, and they loved me because my personality, what the way I am. California, they'd have all the alcohol on the bus, and we'd go crazy flying down the highway. There's one time they had to hide me on my bus because I forgot my passport. Tour manager had it on the W.A.S.P bus.
Okay.
And I had to hide in the bunks going through the customs, and they didn't come on and check.
How could they not find you?
Yeah.
Huh?
You were so big. How could they not find you? How can they not find you?
I went and had back in one of the bunks. And they were just like, stay here in case they come on the bus, but they never did, Okay. And so anyway, there was a few times on that tour where I didn't fly. I'd rather go on the bus, and so let's say you're in Paris and you got to play Portugal. That's a day and a half drive. So everybody would fly. Since I went on the bus, the airlines, the money for that would pay for the better hotels. I'd stay in Iron Maiden's hotel.
Okay.
Travel with them.
Okay.
Because at that point, if you're on the W.A.S.P bus, you have to do what Blackie wants, where he wants to go, do his thing. So, and on the Iron Maiden bus, they let me be me,
Oh.
And so anyway, they don't sound check. Their roadies sound check for them. They have it down to where they don't need to sound check. But W.A.S.P would have to sound check. And their tour manager, Rangy, he would, come to my room and go, Chris, I got to get you to the show by 4 so you can sound check. And he'd take me down every day. Anyway, the very last show, the night before in Rome, he'd beat up somebody that was taking pictures of Iron Maiden, because after the third song, nobody's allowed to take pictures because you're sweaty and all that stuff. Rod, manager, wouldn't like anymore. But the promoter's son was in the barrier at the encore taking pictures, and the guy Rangy that took me, there's like 4 guys that were in charge of just taking care of the band guys. Well, Rangy would take me every day to sound check, in a cab from the hotel. But anyway, he could beat this guy up down in the barrier, and it was the promoter's son. And they told the band, you better fly him out of here because he's going to be killed tomorrow. There's a mafia thing. We're in Italy.
Oh.
So anyway, the next day or the day after is Naples. And Rangy's not there. And their other tour manager guy, Warren, knocks on the door, and he goes, Chris, Rangy's not here. We had to fly him out yesterday because he had a death threat, and they were worried the promoter guys were going to kill him. So they flew him out. He's back in London. Warren takes me down, puts me in a cab, right? And he spoke some Italian to this cab driver. Warren spoke Italian. He spoke a few languages. He goes, Chris, you'll be okay. And I'll see you later on at the gig. So I close the door and the cab takes off, and it's just the cab driver and me. And this guy, I asked him something. He turned back. He didn't know English, a bit of English. And we're going down these little dinky roads, man, in Naples. And I'm like, this guy could be taking me somewhere to beat my ass and take, I got my carry-on bag and take what I got, nobody even know. And I'm like, and I say something to him, he turns back and says something to me, and I can't understand what he's fucking saying. So now I'm getting nervous. About 20 minutes go by, and I'm going, fuck, this guy could be taking me the opposite way of the show. I could be getting screwed. And all of a sudden, I see a heavy metal jacket.
Nice.
In Europe, they have the kids with the patches on them.
Yeah.
They all look the same. I started feeling, I go, cool, man. I'm
might
You thought
make
they were
it.
going to harvest your organs,
I
basically.
might just
Yeah, I
make
didn't
it.
know. Anyway, so this cab driver guy, he doesn't take me to the backstage. He drives me right up front, the venue. And it was a general admission venue. So there's all the people there waiting to get in. And I'm like telling the guy, no, go to the backstage. This cab driver doesn't know. So I
What
kicked
are you
the door
talking
open.
about?
I kicked the door open, right? And I grab my bag and I start running, and all these kids are chasing me. And I can remember I just bought a stiletto about 2 or 3 days before that because they're illegal there.
Mhm.
You know, it's the kind of knife that goes click, click out. I had that in my jacket, and I go running up these police. I just saw some cops. I go running up to them, and I go to pull my pass out. It was around my neck and in my
Oh,
jacket. I go to pull out, and the stiletto goes tweet, 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 tweet on the ground. And I look at him. I just grabbed it, put it back in my pocket. I didn't know if it's illegal or not, you know. And I'm going backstage, and all of a sudden I heard somebody speak English. It was somebody from the military, some kid that was in the Army. Goes, Chris, I know where the backstage is. I go, great. Can you help me out? And he knocked a few kids off me, drugged me around, showed me where the backstage was.
I'm looking forward to the documentary. That's all I'm going to say after that. Looking forward to the documentary. You know, you were supposed to have, what was it, Homes with Homes? Is that what it was?
Home sweet home.
Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
You and Sarah were supposed to do a documentary, sort of like, I guess, the Osbournes, but in France, right? Like that.
Yeah. We were gonna do that, but we never got. It never got further to have anybody put any money into it, you know, to where they could film it and stuff. It takes a little bit of time with a film crew to be around.
That would have been
And
cool.
stuff.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So another time, the PRMC, which was organized by Tipper Gore, you know,
Yeah.
and there was a song by W.A.S.P. I'm trying to remember which one was it. And
Animal.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious, Jim, which one
Yeah.
it would have been.
Animal.
but I'm just reading Wikipedia here. Were there threats? Were there death threats against bomb threats and stuff like that after the PRMC kind of was on the rise at at concerts and so?
We'd get a few threats in Ireland,
Okay.
you know, because white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a few death threats there. One time we were playing and they Molotoved one of the buses in the backstage area.
Wow.
It was a crew bus though.
Okay.
And some of it burned, but I don't think anything was lost on the inside. The bus company just had to get another bus. And there was a bunch of death threats there at the hotel and stuff like that. Blackie'd get them on the road here and there by religious people, you know.
Okay.
Me, I don't. Somebody give me a death threat, you can come and kill me. Try to. You better have a big gun and make sure that the safety's off, because you're going to eat it after I get a hold of it.
The Undertaker, Chris. Have you ever met The Undertaker? Please ask
Yeah.
me. Tone Murray. All right.
Yeah. We played a show called the Rock and Roll and Wrestling. And The Undertaker, a whole bunch of people were there. And I was in the bathroom getting ready to do the show after we signed all the autographs or whatever for the day. It's an all-day gig, all day, and we're supposed to play. I'm in the bathroom putting on my makeup, and the Undertaker comes walking in. And I jump back. I go, stand back. I'm going to flip-flop you like a fucking pancake. And he started laughing. He goes, leave me alone. But he was cool. He was cool. You know who I did meet at that show was a guy called the Giant.
Yeah.
That
From France.
motherfucker. Huh?
He was from France, Jean Ferry.
The Giant?
The Andre the
Not
Giant.
Andre the Giant.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Andre the Giant. This guy's, he's like
Just the giant.
580. He's huge.
Okay.
He's like 580 pounds. He's muscle. And he was standing backstage, and I put my guitar on him. You know, say I wanted a picture. I put it on him, and I laughed. And I remember he grabbed me by the back of my neck, and his hand went almost all the way around my whole neck. And he goes, "That ain't funny. What are you laughing at?" And I go, "Dude," I go, every guitar I put on, it looks like a Tinker Toy. I go, "I'm not making funny. I'm just, just." And he was a cool guy. There's a picture somewhere. I'm standing next to him, and I look like I'm about 4'1". The guy's huge, man. Unbelievably huge.
Des Slater. Does anybody know why Chris doesn't play with Johnny Rod anymore?
Well, because Johnny Rod's in America.
That's a good start.
There you go.
and I'm here in
Makes it
France.
far.
About 2 years ago, we were going to set up some shows where Johnny comes over and plays, and he just couldn't get out of America. You know, I think it's because he's had some problems with his immigration there. You know, once you get in trouble with the law,
Yep.
they don't like to give you visas going into other countries.
That's like Canada, actually.
Yeah. So
That stuff follows you around. Yeah.
We were setting it up, and then he called. We were going to do something on Facebook, and he calls up. Don't say anything yet. And then he called up and said he couldn't make it over.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you got as we sort of
Just look. We got so much, so much to do. We got the documentary. We got hopefully these tour dates. I mean, if there's anything else we missed, Chris, now's a good time to promote. I know the fans out there are anxious.
Anybody, if you want to help me on my record, $10 was good. Whatever, if you can, you can't. It'll help me. If I'm not going to make a threat to anybody, whatever. But if I don't get enough money to finish it, then I got to wait till I tour to make the money to finish it. You know.
Yeah.
Not an ideal situation.
That's a reality.
We got to get the record out before the tour. That's for sure.
And at least when you're giving the money, you're giving it to Chris, and he's going to use it to make an album. Whereas in the olden days, you buy an album and went to the record company, right? And you didn't even know if the artist would get royalties, right? At least you're getting the money to keep it going, keep that musical, that cycle going, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not like I play money and make a lot of. It's not like I make a lot of money,
and to your point is, like when when you're in W.A.S.P, when people probably think you're a millionaire, right? A lot of people think that just because you're a famous guy, they think you're a millionaire, and by default.
Yeah, but going to the crossroads and paying off the people that you work with,
Yeah.
You ever heard of the crossroads?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then just trusting. My main thing is I can never tell anybody out there. Where's the thing? Yeah, anybody out there. Listen, if you're a musician, don't trust your brother, your mom, your dad, anybody about if money comes in a situation. I did, and it didn't ruin my life, but I've lost everything. All my songwriting and stuff in W.A.S.P, I lost it all because I trusted somebody. DTA, don't trust anybody. Make sure you look up on anything you sign, all right?
Don't
end up like me.
Get a lawyer, right? Always get a lawyer.
Fine print.
A lawyer wouldn't be able to help me.
No, I'm just saying if you sign anything, right?
I had a lawyer go in and check it out. The guy, the big England guy, and he just went. He went, by the time, if you went to court and this and that and this, by the time you'd get paid anything, you'll be about probably 95, I estimate, probably 100.
And to a guitarist that you really like, Frank Marino told me and Alan, I never got paid. He never got paid, and the record company goes, oh, you don't like it? Well, sue us. And you just can't sue a record company. It's just,
You ever seen Frank Marino?
Well, we've spoken to him, sure.
Yeah, we've spoken to him. We had and I saw him live as well.
Fuck, I saw him a few years back. He played the Canyon Club, and he's a killer player, man. He's big influence on me.
You know what?
Big influence on me, man.
Sound.
Land of a Thousand Nights. Ever heard that song?
Oh yeah, what a crazy! Oh, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Just juggernaut.
I got that on my card.
There you go.
Did you see Frank in the 70s?
No.
No.
I heard about him and listened to his records, but never got to. He never really played the West Coast.
Okay, yeah. He did a lot of festivals back in the day.
Texas Jam.
And he stopped. And he stopped in what was it, Alan? In '84, he kind of goes, "That's it, I'm done."
Yeah, after his biggest selling album, and that's it. I'm out of here. He went out on top, like he said.
Great guitarist, man. This guy's.
I
would call him iconic. Iconic. That's the word, right?
Well, he plays a certain style of pentatonics, like Joe Balsanama, whatever the guy's name is.
Bonamassa.
Yeah.
Bonamassa. I can't pronounce his name. Yeah, plays like that style. Really good. That's what Bonamassa got his style from, Frank Marino.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Frank Marino.
Bonamassa, whatever. That guy's killer, man. I've watched a few things. He can. Yeah, he can play it good.
You have like Frank Marino and you have Uli John Roth at the opposite ends, sort of like in the Atlantic Ocean, and they're sort of similar in a way. They just some great sounds, some great guitars, just off the charts, man.
I saw Uli about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In France.
Oh, he's amazing. I saw him too.
He's great. Got to talk to him for a while. He was great to talk to.
Yeah, he's such a nice
really
guy.
Cool.
Yeah,
really cool guy.
Yeah. And Frank, I gotta tell you about Frank, man. You should, if he ever comes around your area, you should go see him again. I'm sure he's like you. He was supposed to go on tour, and he couldn't go on tour because of this COVID thing. Just stopped everything.
Nobody's on tour.
Yeah.
They try to do the thing where you play together on the internet. I wouldn't be able to do that because my internet shuts off all the time.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it doesn't shut off now because I'm on the phone.
Yeah. So let's just do a recap here. Okay, Canadian tour postponed, but still 2021 dates starting in April to May, from Quebec City all the way to Vancouver, Victoria. So, and some more dates. And it could, again, I just want to mention to everybody, these are tentative. They might change. Might be pushed to 2022, right? So
it depends on the COVID.
Yeah.
What happens with that.
Would you take the vaccine if they gave you the vaccine right now? Would you take it, or would you wait? Would you wait?
I would take it if Dr. Fauci said it was good to take. I wouldn't take it if Donald Trump said it was good. Okay.
What if Bill Gates said it was good?
If he did, I'd trust him. I'd trust Bill Gates.
All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I'd trust him. I'd try Dr. Fauci. I'd trust, but I'd just people that tend to lie will keep lying.
All right. The state of the music industry. So, "Playing with Fire" is the new single, and I will take the link. And I've been taking these links and I've been posting them in the text so people can check them out. I see that some people have donated already.
Good.
It's not. "Playing with Fire" isn't really a single. For the record, it was something Sarah wanted to put out.
Yes.
Because of the COVID.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID. It's a song about the COVID.
Right. So "Playing with Fire," I just put the single so everybody can go check that out. Go ahead, Alan.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Donations, and we got the documentary coming out in January. So nothing but promising future for Chris Holmes.
Chris,
if the virus goes down, it's spiking up right now.
Oh, yeah. Here in Montreal, it's spiking up. Like, we started this conversation. Alan was saying that in Quebec or Montreal, it's on the rise. Now, who's getting it? We don't know. We don't know if it's a bunch of, 9-year-olds who are terminal with cancer. We don't know. But we do know that.
I know somebody that's got it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I knew someone too who passed away from it, and it was very, very sad.
Yeah, it's not a thing the Democrats made to take over the election from Trump. It's actually came from China. It's actually killed people.
Yep.
Yeah, not to be taken lightly for sure. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, and I know, Chris, when you're a musician, fans want to meet you. They want to shake your hands. They want to hug you. They want to take pictures with you. It's tough being a musician, right? Even in these days, like even if you did go on tour, you can't really touch the fans, right? And I mean it in a nice way. I don't mean it in
well, every time I would tour in the last 5 years, I'd come home and be sick.
Yeah.
I'd bring some kind of cold home or something from somebody, but you have to be with the fans. They all want a picture. If you're sitting there signing stuff, everybody's, handing you pins. They touch the pins or whatever you're signing. You're 2 feet from everybody, and it's, with the COVID, you can't. But yeah.
It wasn't a good idea before. Again, it's even a worse idea now.
That's a good way to put it, Alan. Yeah. You get colds. I guess plexiglass.
But that's how do you take pictures like that? It's not worth it,
No. Do you still get a kick out of meeting the fans?
Yeah, man. It makes people. I like to see people, walk away with a smile on their face. They're happy. Yeah.
That's cool. After all these years, it doesn't wear off. I guess for some artists it wears off, but
I've always liked talking to the fans. Blackie hated it. He hated me even talking to him after shows, but I always did because you get information from him. and they're fans. You know, they want to meet people. After every Iron Maiden show, the manager would make Iron Maiden. Well, this is in the old days, but he'd make them go out backstage. Everybody in the band would stand there and sign everything until there was nobody there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it paid off.
All right. So documentary, new album, everybody, you know, go to Indiegogo, support Chris Holmes, you know, and we're saying that in the kindest of way. We're not forcing anybody. And Chris, always a pleasure to have you on. It's always a treat. I love your honesty. I think everybody enjoys your brutal honesty and, of course, your music. We'll talk again. Alan, closing remarks?
Yeah. No, thanks again, Chris. It's always a pleasure. And like you said, always a fun time when we got Chris Holmes on the show.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right, guys.
All right.
Later.
Bye. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Yeah, we'll talk
Merry
soon,
Christmas
I'm sure.
every day.
Happy Halloween.
Christmas.
Happy Halloween.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, I'm shutting her down here.